8.
You're watching Experience Comic Culture and Sales. Streaming live daily to Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter.
2, 1.
What is up, EXPers? How's everyone doing? It's your boy Chuck Pineau. Good to see all of you. You know what? I was just thinking about the EXP Expo that just happened last weekend, and it was so much fun. I got to sit down with my dude Dowen. We had a really great time, an awful lot of fun. Phil Ayling's in the house, Pastor Michael. Good to see you guys. We got a great show today, by the way. So I'm glad you guys are here, and some great trivia, by the way. I'm very excited about tonight's trivia. But yeah, I was thinking about the EXP Expo, and I realized there was so much cool stuff that happened during that show. So if you guys missed it, go back and check it out. There is so much good stuff, great interviews, really cool stuff. Honestly, it was a really cool event. I had a blast. I was popping in and out, checking it out, and of course I got to host my own little thing, so it was tons of fun. But you know what? Enough of me. We have an absolutely awesome show today with a terrific guest, my buddy. We got you, Mike. We've got you. Wendy and I, we've been working overtime to try to get everybody's stuff together. If you could, though, I will ask everyone again, if you're missing something, send in your address and your email address, all that stuff. And if you know what episode, like either the book or whose it was, send that in to us, because we're having to go through each episode separately to try to find out, did we get this? Did this all get taken care of? So if you guys could do that, it would be a huge help, because we are behind. We know that. So thank you so much, Michael. So anyways, we've got Aaron Dowen in the house today. We're going to have another freaking awesome episode. So you know what? Enough of my crap. Let's start it up.
You make this rather snappy, won't you? I have some very heavy thinking to do before 10 o'clock.
My man, Aaron Dowen. How you doing, buddy?
Oh, it's a night, but I'm here.
So I did let everybody know. I don't think I had. I was very calm about it, and I just enjoyed my chance to improv. But your dog was outside. You couldn't find it right away, huh?
Still out there somewhere.
Oh no!
Yeah, no idea.
Oh.
She's 14. She's old. No idea.
I'm so sorry, homie. Well, you know what? We're gonna go for about 20 minutes or so, and then if she hasn't come back yet, you can head back out. I'm so sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
But you know what? On to some better things, hopefully. Dude, we've been buds. I think I was one of the first guests on your show, wasn't I?
You were the very first.
Ooh. Yeah. See, I like that. And I loved hanging out with you guys. Bearded Comic?
Beards and Comics.
Beards and Comics, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
And I had so much fun with you guys. And you guys have been making some really cool comics. At first, I was like, it looked like it was going to be mostly superheroes, but you guys have really deviated into a lot of different stuff.
Yep.
Can you kind of give us an idea of all the different stuff that you guys are doing over there at Catalyst?
Yeah, for sure. So basically, we have the superhero stuff. That's where we started, because that's where the former, I don't know if Chuck knows this, former co-owner Matt and I both got our first kind of jazz. We're still best friends, but he's full-time tattooing now, so he can't switch the art back and forth. So it was just too much.
That makes sense.
Anyway. So doing that, and we were doing that for a minute, and then we put out Welcome to Everville. I think was the first non-superhero thing. That's dark fantasy horror, and that one was pretty popular. We still get asked quite a bit about it. One Last Job was the next one. That was like our spy thriller, kind of like a James Bond take and mix. And then after that was the the new one, I guess. I think that's what we're on now. Yeah, is Fall of Night would be the newest one that's kind of not in the superhero genre.
So, Fall of Night, is that a one-shot or?
No, it's going to be a series. Still debating on how we're going to release the rest of it. I know we're doing this premiere first issue, but part of me wants to just do a full graphic novel to wrap the whole story together. If not, then we'll do a 5-issue miniseries.
Oh, cool. So either way, around the 5 issues, so it'll be probably like what, 130 pages maybe when it's all said and
something
done?
like that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's badass. So you already, like, even when you started this first one, you already kind of basically had the whole idea in your head what it was going to look like?
Yeah, it's a story that I've wanted to tell for a really long time. It plays on a whole bunch of different things that are important to me and things that I think about and battle with and all that. And it kind of all poured into that story. And I've said it on a couple other things. Like for me, everyone always says this about their newest stuff, but this is the most important thing as far as a story goes that I've written. And I'll probably feel that way for a long time. Like I said, this is one that's just been kind of sitting on the back burner for a minute. And I'm glad that we're finally being able to do it.
It's those ones on the back burner that really, I feel like they end up getting, in the end, the best treatment because they've really sat there and steamed. It's the difference of like having a roast sit for, overnight and then eating it, or just buying roast beef from Arby's. The difference is huge. I still like me an Arby's burger, but boy, oh boy, I'd love some au jus. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So I was checking out actually the Kickstarter for Fall of Night. Why don't you tell all the fans here about the book, because it looks really cool.
Yeah, so this book, it's actually with the Tilt artist, Joe DeSantos. Him and I have been working together for a long time. We're working together on another thing as well that's for somebody else called A Trade in Justice. And so him and I are just, we just work a lot. And I think I approached him about this probably like 2 years ago. And I was just like, hey, man, I have this idea for a story. And I wanted to go ahead and ask if you would be interested in it whenever we get around to being able to do it. And he was all in for it. So brought him on, and then we found Lois Lackey to do colors, and we gave her a limited Japanese color palette, and she's just freaking slaying it. And then Van Claridge for lettering. A lot of people might have seen him around because he's a big supporter of comics, but he wanted to be involved with Catalyst since the early days. And the first thing he could think of to do that would help is lettering stuff. And then once he started lettering, we were like, let's just hire him. So he's doing some crazy stuff on this. But the story is about a Templar knight who goes AWOL after seeing things pushed a little bit too far and coming up with those questions of, how far am I willing to go, and what's being said is done in the name of God, and then it's obviously done just for furthering personal agendas and bloodshed. So he goes AWOL, ends up in feudal Japan. For those that don't know, those two things occurred at the same time. So he ends up in feudal Japan. We catch up like 3 years later, and he's just kind of drinking his past away, trying to keep himself subdued, and ends up getting into a bar fight that involves an ex-samurai's daughter. And it gets split up by a local daimyo, which is kind of like the little warlords of the area. And he realizes that some deeper stuff's going on in the province. And we kind of lead up to him having to pick up a sword again. Maybe still a little bit hungover, and we'll see how it pans out. But basically starting a rebellion to save a province. So what's cool about it for me is it's a very grounded in reality story. It's not like magic and dragons and stuff like that. It is literally a knight who saw things done that he couldn't agree with, ran away, and then ends up in similar situations because humanity.
I really love that idea. You really, like, when I was checking it out and looking at it, I just went, okay, cool. He's on to something really interesting here, because when you look at the Knights Templar, they have this really like mythical, amazing viewpoint where we look and we go, wow, Knights Templar. And then you look at kind of how it ended and things that happened, and you go, ooh, youch, like that's rough. And I mean, like, their job, they were created initially to make sure that people got to all the holy places, especially in the Middle East and whatnot,
Right.
properly and safely. And that was their job. So they really were holy warriors and holy guardians more than anything else. So the fact that it turned into what it did is rough. So I love the idea of him going like, I cannot do this. This is not what I signed up for. And I love that. And I love, obviously, that allows us to then bring our own Tom Hutchinson's in the house. What's going on, buddy? Aaron again.
Hey, Tom.
What's up, Mick?
Quick update. Fiance just walked in with the dog in her arms, so
great.
She's been out there doing the Lord's work.
Oh, well, thank you very much, fiance. That is awesome. We're so glad she's okay.
That dog's grounded, so
yeah, absolutely, right? Next time you go out, it is with a very short leash.
Yeah, for sure. So ironically, last time we were here, she had walked down the street and somebody dog napped her and put her in their backyard, and we just happened to come across it, and so I walked down the street and fiance was walking up the street just holding the dog in her arms, just no words, just like that stuff happens, and you don't even. Who would have thought? Somebody's just gonna be like, "Hey, look at this old dog. I'm just gonna take it and put it in my backyard."
Dude, that's so freaking messed up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anyway.
yeah. No, I have no words. Yeah. No. You're good. But yeah, like the ideas that you kind of played off of, and of course, it's so easy, especially like you being a man of faith. It's really interesting, like the kinds of stuff that could come out of that. I'm really like, honestly, not kissing your butt here. It sounds like it could be a really interesting tale.
Yeah, I think it's going to be. Like I said, so much of myself is in this, and like just the battles that I think anyone who grows up in, even if you're not really religious, like the Knights Templar has been everywhere in everyone's story lines and their pasts and stuff. Like everyone knows about it. But like, what does it take to break one of them? And that's where the exploration came about for me. It was like, what if one of them really was like, wow, this went way too far for me. What would they do? And like, I don't know that there are any accounts that, of course, would have been reported because they probably would have been offed of Templar Knights going AWOL. But I thought in my mind, like, man, that's about as far away as they could get at the time, was to just go to Japan. Different culture and everything. So I think it's going to be interesting to see it play out, where it's like, man, like the same crap is happening in a different way in a different area. Because again, like I like to bring it up, just it's humanity. It's especially that time period. It was ruthless. Yeah.
Was there a particular reason why you specifically chose Japan? Because obviously there was lots of cultures you could have played with.
Yeah, that was the one that most, there are ones that people could see like would be more realistic in the sense of like, yeah, maybe if one ran away, they'd go to like India or places where they had a lot of ties already. But I didn't want to do that. And then once I realized that feudal Japan happened at the same time, I was like, well, that's just fun. And I got to come up with a sake brand. So screw it. Like, just throw them over there.
No, and it's such a huge fish out of water story too, right? Like a European in Japan at that time would be so drastically different. So I do love the idea. I think that's really cool. And at the end of the day, like, screw how it happens. It happens, and let's see it, because that's just a cool idea. So I love that you went there.
Yeah, me too.
So for the Kickstarter, you guys often have some really cool stuff on there. Is there anything in particular you want to like shout out or show off?
The two big ones for me are the first two add-ons that I did. It's the sake mug with it's a company called Dragon Spit Sake, and it's just something I came up with and made a logo and all that. But there's a mug, and like people have been asking quite a bit about the mugs. And then the other big one is this cover has been talked about more than the One Last Job #1 cover that I did, which was talked about a lot. But this particular cover has been talked about nonstop since the first little post I did with like it as a banner or something. So I did a metal print of the cover so people can get like a really nice looking metal print of it. And that's actually illustrated by the colorist on the book, Lois Lackey. She illustrated and colored the cover.
Oh, that's so cool. Yeah. And I love that that image too. It is gorgeous.
Yeah, she nailed it.
No, she really did, man. Those sake mugs, by the way.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I ever had sake. Someone brought it over. I'd never had it before. They had the actual, like those little shot glass kind of things. And he's like, okay, put it in the microwave, put it in for this amount of time. You have to have it hot. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah. Like I was excited to try this. Did it. It was great. It was really cool. So smooth. Loved it. And then I was like, hey, can I do another one? He's like, yeah, okay. And I just grabbed it, put it directly in the microwave, and heated it up again, not knowing that it actually holds the heat really well.
Yeah.
And my fingers, after being a cook for a period of time, you don't really feel heat as well on my fingers.
Yeah.
So I grabbed it and shot it, and it burned. Like, it hurt. So because obviously the heat still in there was already warming it up on its own. It would have been fine, but ooh, I hurt myself that night. My tongue was burned.
I should have put a disclaimer on it. Like, I'm not recommending anybody fill a mug of sake and that's their drink. No, it's just some fun merchandise.
Yeah. Of course, man. Are you a sake guy yourself?
No, not really.
No?
Again, it was just part of the world. I was like, because I think originally I had it written in there where it was beer, and that just wasn't even introduced over there until like 1700s. So I had to find what they were actually drinking at the time.
Isn't that the worst when we do research? Like you write something and then you go, oh, you know what, I should research, and then you go, damn it, I knew it. I knew I had to figure something else out.
It was like figuring out that the samurai swords, those are secondary weapons and not their primaries. Like, that was mind-boggling, because you don't see a samurai just holding a spear or a bow and arrow like they normally would.
It was funny in our novel, Hudson's House, Eric and I were writing about 1940s Switzerland, and he talked about hearing a bear in the distance, and for some reason in my head in the mountains, and I was like, for some reason I researched it. I don't know why, but I was just like, are there actually bears in those mountains? And it turns out they had been hunted to extinction.
Goodness.
And that's why so many people came over to North America to go hunting, because so many of the animals that they had hunted had been hunted to extinction. There are now, however, bears in the Swiss Alps, because they actually ended up eventually emigrating from Italy. But yeah, I was just like, whoa. So yeah, man, sometimes the research just cuts us off at the knees. And I actually, when we ended up actually printing the book, I went in and I changed that just so that right? Make2 asks, what is their primary weapon if it's not the samurai sword?
Yeah, it's a spear, like a long spear, or a bow and arrow were the two main ones.
Okay, yeah.
A lot of them were like on horseback and stuff. So they would just roll up in a place, and they have their secondary for more one-on-one, but they're trying to take care of it with a distance first.
Is that like the what is it, the ninja toe or whatever? Is that what it's called, or?
It could be. I don't know. It looks like
fair.
A super long wooden stake with a nice little fancy looking metal piece on the end.
Oh, sweet. Okay. No, but that's freaking cool, man.
Yeah.
So you said this one's going to be 5 issues long?
I think so. Yeah.
All right. Have you guys already started working on issue 2, or are we finishing up issue 1? Or
so finishing up issue 1. It's a really fast team. If anybody knows Joe, how fast he is with stuff.
I've worked with him before. He is good.
Yeah, he just crushes right through stuff. And then the whole thing's been outlined, and issue 2's got script already. So it's just going to come down to how we want to do. Like I said, I'm still playing with the idea of just putting out a full graphic novel after this. I guess that would be like the Scout method, do a single first issue and then a full story. I'm playing around with that. I'm not positive yet, but we'll see what we come up with.
Guys, look at that piece.
Yeah, I had fun making this page too.
Oh yeah. No, you
from cherry blossoms to blood.
Right? No, dude, I think you've done a really good, and especially using the colors and even the gutters. It's all aged and whatnot.
Yeah.
I love the way you guys have done that. It really does have a feel, and I think that's something that we miss in comics sometimes, because so often we want it to seem pristine and new and all that kind of stuff, and we forget that there's so many things that you can play with. So
Yeah,
I
for
love
sure.
that you did that, dude. Oh, great job, man. Seriously. I know that Tilt, at least you finished the first series. Are you still
Yep.
moving forward with all that stuff?
Oh, well, I don't know. There's the trade right there.
There we are.
It's my first trade, so I'm still excited.
So good. Oh yeah, of course.
In fact, I just fulfilled that today. I shipped them all out. So that's nice for anybody that backed it. That should be showing up very soon. But anyway, yeah, so that stuff's kind of just been put on pause for now until I feel like we're at a place where we can market the superhero side better or find its audience to a better degree, because I even said in my update today that I think at some point I'm going to release one of my Substack posts and just talk about all the perils that were involved with Tilt's production from issue 2 all the way through the trade, because like superhero stuff's freaking hard, and especially on Kickstarter, especially like if you're not Tom Hutchinson. So I think I'm going to do a post that's going to talk about that quite a bit. So for now that's on hold, and we're focusing on a few of the other things.
Yeah. Well, and, I mean, because most of us grew up on superheroes, there's just so many of them out there. I know for myself, even, I was like, yeah, I don't want to write a superhero. I mean, I'd be open to it, but for me, it feels like that's being done really well. And when you specifically write that, you're competing with the big two. Like that is directly putting you in there. But anything else we do, we're not competing. We're just competing with them as far as space on a shelf.
Yeah.
Not in the same genre, which I think it definitely doesn't put us on equal footing, but it at least kind of gives you that step forward of, okay, I'm offering something different, something that they're not. And that gives me a bit of a leg up, which in indie, anything you can get to get a leg up.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Do you guys have any shows coming up this year?
I have not. So I kind of last year I was just non-existent for the most part. It was just life stuff, too much happening at once. So I pulled back from all that stuff. So now I need to start applying. But if I start applying, it's pretty much going to be for next year. So I might try to set up some like shop signings or something for the rest of this year, and then maybe if I can slip into one or two by the end of the year, then I'll do those. But I would like to, because I would like to bring this trade to start selling them at shows. I just have to figure it out with scheduling. Yeah.
Have you gotten to travel out of the Carolinas much to do shows? Or are you mostly doing it closer to home?
Yeah. So, I mean, honestly, I haven't done, I think the last show I did was in 2021. So, again, like at the end of 2021, it was like,
Travis, my boy, you will, my brother. I'll be calling you soon. Don't worry, homie.
No, I did. I think something in the summer of 2021. I think that's when the last one was. And then hit a hard button reboot for life, and it's just been chaos ever since. So I haven't really been back to it.
Hey man, looks like a Boston 8, but he really is a Texan. I'll take it. I will take it. Thank you, homie. Oh, he's got me all flustered and junk.
It happens.
I know, right? So, I mean, is there anything else that you can tell us about Fallen Knight? Because I think what you guys are doing there really looks awesome.
Yeah, so this story in particular is very much a story about a crisis of faith. It's about a person, realizing that all this stuff that they've done accounts for nothing, and they end up having a whole lot of blood on their hands. And what happens to a person when that happens? Like, what happens when you have that realization that literally, like, these people were raised from childhood to believe, like, if you get into the order, you're upper echelon, you're closest to God, you're doing things that that matter, and then you realize, like, so much of it became such a power struggle. So if that sounds interesting to people, like, that element of it alone, I think is really captivating. And I think it speaks especially to like our age group, going through similar deconstructions and things like that a lot of people do. I wanted to explore that, but what it would look like in a different setting, and then I wanted to have what would it be like to try to rectify those problems, And so the crux of the story is kind of him battling himself the whole time. And then we have characters like Kira, who is an ex-samurai's daughter, who watched her dad die. Like, she's drinking herself away as well. So what happens when she has to pick up a sword again? And then even Ashujai, he's the daimyo for the local province. Like, we're going to tell part of the story of his past and like see it through his eyes. So this story is going to play through multiple people's viewpoints, and I think that it's going to really help people get stuck in the story. This is my plan anyway.
Yeah. So Make Two was asking, is there something that gave you inspiration for the story?
Yeah, I mean, I've been fascinated with the Knights Templar for, I don't know, since I was a kid. It's always been, I'm a nerd, and I love history. And not only that, I grew up preacher's kid, so like, you know, church has always been a thing. And while I'm not Catholic, I always found the level of dedication and devotion that they had to be fascinating, but then also the realization of the things that they actually did to be heartbreaking. So out of those ideas, they've always been floating around. But then it was just the idea of, once I saw that feudal Japan and this happened at the same time, I was like, all right, there's a story. And I just went, I think originally I might have had it focused on a little bit more of the Knights Templar. And then I was like, nah, I need to rip them out of that and just start with the story we'll have some flashbacks of like what happened in the order and like how important he felt that it was, so that we understand that he really was all in until he realized some things that happened. And so, yeah, that's the biggest part of the story, is we're going to tell it through different people's viewpoints. And I know how it's ending. And I think it's going to be a really full, rounded story.
Aaron, I really love that idea, because it really, like, it speaks to me personally. But I feel like it's also something that would speak to an awful lot of people, especially, as you said, people in our age group who are kind of dealing with that sort of midlife crisis, sort of, you know, changing up your life. And actually, you know, one thing I remember learning in school, I had an entrepreneurial studies teacher, and he had basically said, this was back in, like, I guess it was like 2003 or so when I took the course, and he had basically said, look, the future is not going to economically, and the way that we work is not going to be the way that it is today. Whereas, you know, it used to be you would have one job, you would do that until you were tired, and that was it. Yeah. And he said, now you're going to have these, you know, you're going to have 3, 4 or more careers, even not just jobs, but careers, where you move from one thing to another. And a lot of that, our generation is very much in the middle of that, getting used to the idea that you have to, I did this and it's not working, and we're seeing industries change, and now we have to change on to that. And I really love that, because that very much does speak to us. So, dude, much love, man. Like, seriously, it sounds like something that a lot of people are really going to dig and be able to get behind. So what I'm asking for all of you guys out there, in just a minute, Aaron is going to show you the sweet prize that he has brought for all of you guys. In the meantime, I'm asking you guys, go to Kickstarter, please. In your other tabs, keep watching us, but go to Kickstarter, and at the very least, if you can't do anything else, if you don't have money, we all understand what finances are like right now for everyone. But if you can, at the very least, share it out. Aaron has been nice enough to donate this to us. So what I ask for you guys is just go share it out on your socials, show it off, get it out to as many people as possible, because this truly does sound like a story that needs to be heard by as many ears as possible. Aaron, what's that sweet, sweet prize you brought for our players today?
Yeah. It's going to be my first trade. It's I will straight up send a physical copy. It's 128 pages. And when I say 128 pages, I mean, like, we did weird stuff. So even the chapter breaks in them, they're part of the story. You know, we did. Let's see if I can find a good one. It's hard to flip like this. Also, Chuck's cameos in Tilt.
Ooh.
All right. But like, even the ads in there, they're set in the world. So we did ad pages to split up the chapters. And that one's like Jimmy's glass repair. So people that read issue 1, you'll realize Jimmy's the guy that he drops from the top of a building. And like I said, you got You got Chuck's little cameo in here on one of these pages. Yeah, there it is, right there. Little Chuck Pineau action.
I love it.
Right behind his butt.
I'm good with that.
Yeah, it's got the cover gallery. It's got concepts. We have like Matt's concepts for a bunch of the characters, and then there's also what I really liked. There's 3 different flash fiction stories in there that are set in the world, and the illustrator Joe DeSantos, he did a 5-page short comic that goes at the end of that as well. So it's not just Tilt 1, 2, 3, and 4. There's a whole bunch of other extra content that's in there as well. And so we're going to give that away.
That is so awesome, man. I'm so glad Chuck's a guest. Ha ha ha. Thanks, Vendetta. No, dude, that's freaking awesome, man. It really does look awesome. And so excited for that. And of course, for our second place prize, you guys can get a digital copy of that, correct?
Yep. Absolutely.
Dude, that's absolutely amazing. You guys are going to, have no doubt, love it. I know I read Tilt 1, and I really would like to check out the rest of them. So, yeah, man, I think that's absolutely awesome. I do want to give a quick shout-out of love to our boy here, Kenneth Bird. He just got home. They put a stint in his heart, and everything is flowing much better. He's doing a lot better. Kenneth, so glad to hear it, man. We
Definitely
want you around for as long as possible. So, bless you, and so glad that you're doing well. Aaron, my man, I hope that you freaking kill it and just do so well. Seriously.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
No, absolutely. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go to a commercial. I'm going to keep pushing this. You can go check in on your dog and do all that kind of stuff. And we're going to keep moving forward, and I'll let you know how the trivia goes and who wins, and I'll get you all the information.
All right. I appreciate you, Chuck, and thank you, everybody.
Dude, so glad to do it. Guys, thank you so much, man. Thanks for checking it out. And Aaron, thank you for coming out. Guys, we're going to be right back with some awesome trivia right after these messages.
Imagine being at a convention and going to an interview panel that's just for you. No bustling crowds, no hours-long lines, just you, the moderator, and your favorite comic book creators. Well, this is pretty much that. Miss Jen sits down every week with 2 comic book creators for a live stream interview about their latest work, and you can ask them whatever you want. It's Talking Shop, Mondays at 5 Eastern on The Experience, Comic Culture and Sales.
Symphonic verses, Nocturne's romance. A song of romanticized darkness, dreaming death by sleep.
According to a statistic that I just made up, people spend 4 hours a day changing the television channel. People who watch The Experience don't do that. Save yourself a ton of time by tuning into The Experience and enjoying our new original programming 7 days a week. And then tell your friends. Think about the money they could save on batteries in the remote alone just by tuning into The Experience. Find out more by scanning the QR code below.
You make this rather snappy, won't you? I have some very heavy thinking to do before 10 o'clock.
What is going on, everybody? I'm just scrolling away, getting ready to get all the points together. We got some awesome trivia. I hope you guys were all listening. Excuse me. So for anyone here who may not have done trivia before, by the way, anyone who wants to get involved, please do. Share out. Tell all your friends about the shows, the network, everything. I know you guys will love it. Give us a thumbs up, and of course, you're commenting, so that's just perfect. But the way we do things is 3 points for the first person to give us the correct answer, 2 points for the second, and then 1 point for everybody else. And at the end, the winner and second place will each win a prize, as we had already said. Now, we'll talk about that again later. And yeah, man. Also, as we always say, no Googling, please, okay? It's kind of all I can do is trust you, but at the end of the day, it just makes it more fun. If you don't know the answer, you can answer 1,000 times. Like, we've had people, especially when I pick a date, they'll just drop all the answers. I don't care. Do it however you have to do it. I will give clues. It's not always easy. In fact, it can be kind of hard, but we'll give you clues. We'll make sure that everyone gets answers. So you know what? Enough of me babbling on. Let's start the trivia and have some fun. Aaron, he's got this great book about a Knight Templar, so got to do some Templar trivia, right? Question 1. The Knight, 14 subscribers from 2,500? Guys, share this stuff out. Dude, we're so close. And when we hit 2,500, something big happens. So yeah. You don't have to go with your first thoughts there, Make Two. Whichever, you can answer as many times as you want, so you're good. The Knights Templar were formed in what century? There's only been so many, and I'll tell you, it's not BC, so that helps a fair amount. Means there's only like, what, 21? I'm sure you can figure it out. The Knights Templar were formed in what century? If I said what year, Phil, not 16th, not 14th, earlier, guys. Earlier than that. They actually ended in the 14th century, if that helps. So, yeah. I do have a correct answer. I do have a correct answer so far. And do we have another one? Okay, I only have one correct answer so far. It's my dude Vendetta. So now everyone's going to scroll up and try to... There, Pastor Michael got the 2 points. So, yeah. Guys, it is the 12th century. 1116, I believe, was the year, if I remember correctly. And no, I did not know that beforehand. We do our own research when we do these, so I just did the research today. I like to do it on the day of the show too, because then it means that all this stuff is still in my memory when we go to sit down and talk about it. So, question number 2. What is the European version of a daimyo? And don't forget, if you don't know the answer, then make us laugh. Oh, yeah! Points for funny, absolutely. If you make me laugh, you'll definitely get extra points. Yeah, what is the European version of a daimyo? And our good dude, Aaron, actually already kind of told us that. You know what, Pastor? I think I can do that. I'm willing to go with that one. If anyone else wants to give anything like that, that's very close. So, yeah, I can go with that. Not a book. And then Phil gets the 2. We've wanted to make 2. And Vendetta, give us an answer so I can give you a point too, homie. So it's not necessarily just a baron. It was a lesser noble. So a lesser lord. So baron or count or anything like that. Yeah, very close. So yeah, man. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, see. Oh, and Kenneth got in on it too. What's the frequency? All right. Cool. And sadly, no Wendy today. She's out working, so it's just me. Yeah, nobleman. Yeah, see, exactly, Steve. Nicely done. That's why I was like, I'm not going to make you guys get that specific or else it stops being fun. Question 3. This one's a little weird, and I will absolutely duck. You know what? I'll give you points for duck. EX, S, FF, D, LT. I assume you're in the military, so if so, Thank you for your service, and I will get you your point. So yeah, this is a weird question, so I will definitely give you help with it. What is a circular ride where cars pivot by centrifugal force created by the ride's rotating table? Rotating table. I'll say it again. What is a circular ride where cars pivot by centrifugal force created by the ride's rotating table? It's something that you would find at like a carnival. So what kind of rides do you find at a not bumper cars? But good answer. But yeah, not bumper cars. Oh, Mr. Nope comes in. And actually, you know what? Mr. Nope comes in with the correct answer, and the teacups is actually a version of it. So I will give you the 3 points for that. It is that Tilt-A-Whirl. And of course, his book is called Tilt, so doing that. But yeah, so I'm going to give 3 points to my man, Mr. Nope, and 2 points to EX, and then a point to everybody else. That's right, guys. Tilt-A-Whirl. What I mean, dude, the weird questions you're going to get here. So nicely done. Question number 4. Who wrote most of the books in the New Testament of the Bible? Again, Fall of Night is a book about a man dealing with his faith, or even in a sense, loss of faith. Tilt didn't have a table. Oh, that's what it. Oh, not John, but it is definitely a very white dude European name. Yeah, see, Pastor Michael, I should have known Pastor Michael would have gotten it right away. 2, 3, make 2, got it. And then I'll make sure that everybody else gets 1. That's right, guys. It was Paul who wrote most of the letters at the end, towards the end, like the Corinthians and Romans and all that kind of stuff. He wrote 13 out of 27 of the chapters in the New Testament. So pretty good numbers there. All right. Question number 5. Since the 1980s, which show has most often ended with the words, "Help control the animal population, have your pet spayed or neutered"? Why would I ask a question like that? I remember the little kitten, for those of you guys who've been here since the beginning, who was sitting on my shoulder a couple episodes and watching. I had to get the poor guy neutered yesterday. And it was tough on me. I was like, I hope he loves me after this, because I would hate me. But he does, and we're still good, and he's sleeping in here with me, so he's all good. And man, all of you guys jumped on this right away. Steve Vendetta gets it first. Nicely done, Vendetta. And then right behind was Mr. Nope. And then, of course, everybody else gets a point. Pastor Mike, Phil, and me too. Yeah, that's right, guys. Price is right. Nicely done. Got to be in the audience. You got to be in the audience for taping while Bob was there? Dude, Steve. Yes. You know what, Steve? Did you? Yeah, you got the extra points, but that did make me laugh. I loved him in Happy Gilmore. He was so good in that movie. But yeah, man, that's pretty awesome, JD, that you got to see that. That's freaking cool. All right, you know what, guys? We're gonna take a quick break. I'm gonna have me a quick drink. Birthday present? Oh, dude, that's so awesome. I'm gonna have me a quick drink, take care of my throat, and then we're gonna be back with the rest of our questions. And of course, that awesome prize. See you guys in a minute.
To be continued. 3 little words that hold the secret to the next great story. 3 words that will thrill you, confound you, give life to new possibilities. Every variation of To Be Continued is a promise of adventure, a promise of excitement, a promise of unseen wonders and unexplored worlds, a promise that every issue you read makes you a part of a never-ending journey, and behind every page there will be an unopened door waiting for you. This story to be continued at your local comic book shop. Visit comicshoplocator.com today. Live from New York. What? Oh, sorry. Live from Cleveland? It's Friday night? It's Friday Night Live! With Nancy McCann. And Ricky. And sometimes Carlos. And featuring boxes and boxes of rare comics. Unique collectibles. Lots of smiles and conversations with new friends. Friday Night Live with Comics Unlimited. Friday night from 9 to 11 on The Experience.
You make this rather snappy, won't you? I have some very heavy thinking to do before 10 o'clock.
Hello, everyone. So good to see you guys back. Scared the crap out of me suddenly seeing my face on there. I was like, whoa, wait, what's going on? All right, we're back. Aaron Dowen was here with his great book, Fall of Night. As I said to everybody else, please go check out his Kickstarter at the very least, because he donated an awesome prize to us, which is going to be the trade paperback of Tilt. That's Tilt issue 1, 2, and 3, which is a really cool superhero epic. He donated that to us. So first place will get that. Second place will get the PDF. Sadly, Rayla, there will not be a participation. But you know what? Come in and have some fun. It's so good to see you here. And it's so good to see all of you guys talking back and forth too, the kind of camaraderie and friendship that goes on, because all of you guys, like so many of you guys have won. So it's great. So let's keep it up. And so far, guys, it's very much still anybody's game. So let's keep it up. And hey, Rayla, make me laugh and you'll get some extra points. So you never know what can happen. Anyways, check out the Fall of Night Kickstarter. Share it out. Show it off, because it was just awesome of him to do that for us. So on to question number 6. Chucky wrote a sports question, because we want to do a little bit of everything. And even though I'm not a sports guy, well, it's not totally sports, because we're also comic people, right? Which Super Bowl-bound football player just announced his own autobiographical comic with Tidal Wave Comics? That's right. Which Super Bowl-bound football player just announced his own autobiographical comic with Tidal Wave Comics? Look at this. Someone's coming in hot. Phil, don't worry about it. Yeah. Oh, and actually, he did spell correct. So, oh yeah. Phil, I'm giving Phil the 2 points, and then of course everybody else is gonna get it. You guys were all over this. That's right. It is Travis Kelce, and supposedly, I don't know why, but our dear Taylor Swift will have at least a couple pages in there. So cool. Release week before. Yeah, I know, right? Like they know what they're doing. They know exactly what they're doing. So yeah, man, it's smart. Good call. Karma is a guy on the Chiefs. Okay. Is the answer your mom? I feel like the answer might be your mom. My mom is definitely the answer to something. What are the odds she performs at halftime? Actually, that's funny that you should ask because she's actually going to be in Japan. So they're actually saying she might not even show up to watch the show. So yeah, not very likely, believe it or not. Okay, question 7. What was the first recorded year where a majority of the year's most popular songs were written by women? Yeah, not something that you would just know, but something I just found out. So I thought, hey, let's ask. So yeah, again, what was the first recorded year where a majority of the year's most popular songs were written by women? 2020? No, but you're close, Rayla. And so far, Rayla is the closest. Not 69, but make 2. Thank you. Very funny. Yeah, it's a lot more recent than any of you guys seem to be thinking. So and so far 2020 is by far the closest. So let's keep coming. 2020 still closer. Let's just say it's yeah, Phil, your annoyance with the system, well done. Phil is correct. So I'm gonna give Phil the 3 points. And behind Phil, who else said it? Pastor Michael. 1, 2. And then I'll make sure that everybody else gets one. That's right. Last year, 2023 was the first year that anybody that ever happened. So ouch. Well, let's try to keep it up, right? Let's at least make it something that happens more often. Doesn't have to happen every year. But I'm glad that it's happened. Oh, dude, when I heard this blew me away. What is the average price? This is number 8. Pastor must know somebody in high places to give him answers. Hey, Phil, you got it first. Who do you know, buddy? Number 8. What is the average price of a ticket to this year's Super Bowl? And by the way, grab your barf bag because when you hear it, you're probably going to throw up. So yeah, not a great number. What is the average price of a Super Bowl ticket for this year's Super Bowl? $5,000. Let's say higher. $8,000 higher. 205,000 for no, yeah, $9,000 higher than $9,000. 23,000. Well, okay, you're a little over, bud. You're a lot over, actually. $9,000 was definitely the closest so far. Okay, we do have a correct answer. Pastor Michael got it right, and Stephen Dead, I believe, right behind. Yeah, Stevie V. 2, and then everybody else is going to get a point. Rayla. That's right. $10,000. $1 million. Nice, JD. Yeah, that's right. 10 freaking grand. 9,500 was pretty. I think it ended up 9,800, right in that range. So 10 grand was what I was kind of going for. But dude, oh, did you say 10 grand earlier than that, hon? I'm gonna go back and see. 69. All right. I'll give you the extra point, hon. That's cute. That was cute. Yeah, I know. I feel you, dude. I will give you $2 for a ticket. Yeah, I feel the same way, man. If I got a ticket, I would sell that ticket. Absolutely. That would be scalped pretty damn quickly. Question number 9. Which country has the most expensive McDonald's? So you go there and like the burgers, $10 American for just the burger. That's not a combo or anything else. An arm and a leg. Yeah, true enough. Steve Vendetta, let me look again. No, Pastor Michael did get it just before you. Sometimes it looks like it on our end, but no. Okay. Not China, not Japan, not England. It is a European country, if that helps, not Saudi Arabia. Yeah, it's a European country. So far it has not been said. Excuse me, not South Korea. And we're gonna make this our last question of the day today. Okay, I do have a correct answer now. Vendetta gave me the correct answer. So I need one more person to say what Vendetta said. Steve Vendetta said. Not Germany. There's a cheese named after it. Someone will say it. It's not France. He did say France. Oh, Rayla said it. Okay. So Rayla did end up saying, that's right, people. It's Switzerland. Switzerland. Okay. How did we do? Look at this. Damn. Ooh. 2 points separating first and second place. 2 points, guys. It's freaking close. And behind that, yeah, guys, this was a high-scoring game. What a great game. Yeah, everybody, absolutely everyone, please register there. If you're owed prizes and you know what the person's comic or what book it was or any of that, please put it in there when you register so that Wendy and I can get back, because we're having to go back through all of our old videos to try to find out which ones we owe people for. And it's been a fair amount. And sometimes it's on our end. A lot of times it's on our end. Sometimes it's on their end. We have to go back through. So please, if you're owed something, go back through there. Check it out. Really appreciate it. But today's winner, second place, is my man, Steve Vendetta. Nicely done. He's going to win that PDF of Tilt. And first place, Pastor Michael. You win the physical edition of Tilt. So thank you guys so much. You are all freaking awesome. Yeah. Rayla, just let me know and we'll make that happen. I appreciate you guys. Have a great one. Didn't swear today, so I get to say it. My name is Chuck, and I give a fuck. Take care, everybody.
Do you remember what it was like when you were a little kid and you got a letter in the mail? Now imagine that letter was filled with information about your favorite shows, pop culture questions, links to things you're going to want to see later, and even sneak peeks at upcoming programming here on The Experience. That's what the EXP mailing list is. Every week, we send you sneak peeks, information, and all of the relevant links for all of the shows you want to see. Sign up now on our website or scan the QR code that's on your screen right now.